Evening to you.
These guys are all big influences on me and certainly house music.
No, that does not sound like
walk around with that collar popped up.
Yeah.
Hey, do this. Yeah.
So let's go on that. I want to talk a little bit about each of your illustrious careers, because you guys have done a lot. All three of you have done amazing, have had amazing contributions to what we call house music. This is the Vintage House Show. And so part of what that is about is celebration and preservation. This is Lawrence framing, but the celebration and preservation of Chicago house legends and Chicago house music. And I think
All right. It's your main man, Kevin Mega McFall, here with another episode of the Vintage House Show. But tonight is not just any other episode. Tonight, we're closing out the year with a special guest, someone who is, I'll use the words iconic, legendary, and certainly one whose stamp on house music is indelible. I'm talking about the one and only Marshall Jefferson. Now, the Vintage House Show has gone 10 years. 10 years we're celebrating, capturing the first-person narratives of many of the house music icons, pioneers, and legends. And I'm honored tonight to have with us Marshall Jefferson, who I have pursued for some time, and I'm honored and thrilled to introduce him to the audience tonight, to not share the story about the House Music Anthem, but to allow you to get to know who Marshall Jefferson is. With that, and without any further ado, buckle up. Your main man Mega would like to bring forth Marshall Jefferson. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
Well, I am, again, thrilled to have you here on the show. I'm thrilled to have an opportunity to talk to you and to share with our audience a lot about, who you are and your Chicago roots. And so this will be a chronological discussion. We're going to start off with the early days of Marshall Jefferson, from your neighborhood. Where did you grow up? And of course, where did you attend high school? So I'll let you start.
I started out on the south side. I had hay fever really bad. I remember going to nursery school, and I had a bad hay fever outbreak, and one of the kids said, "I saw somebody just like that." My eyes were red and I was crying and stuff. He said, "Yeah, his eyes turned red too, and they fell right out of his head, and then he died." And of course, that traumatized me. That's one of the earliest memories. But I grew up. A few years later, when I was 8 years old, I had a paper route. Ride on my bike, delivering newspapers, and my parents weren't worried about me getting snatched off the street, or like nowadays, you don't want your kid to leave the block, and I would go to the neighborhood. I deliver papers. I do collections on the weekends and stuff. I collect the money and yeah, I had a little grind delivering newspapers, and also in the wintertime was really good. I really cashed in. I would charge a quarter to shovel the snow, out of people's.
What neighborhood was this, Marshall?
This was I don't know what it was called, but
South Side, West Side,
South Side,
yeah.
and apparently Barack Obama lived in that neighborhood about 8 blocks away from me.
You lived in the same neighborhood as the 44th president of the United States. How about that?
Well, I don't know. I never saw him, but apparently, yeah.
and so, did you
I don't know if it was concurrently or not.
Okay.
I just heard that.
Did you know any of the neighbors you shoveled snow for, or whose papers?
Oh yeah. Some of the neighbors, a lot of the neighbors I knew. Some of them I didn't. When I ventured off my immediate block, and I got greedy and I went, down the street, next block, and the next block after that. But I racked up them quarters. And
would it be fair to say that you've been entrepreneurial your whole entire life?
Not my whole life, but a good portion of it. I was, I was trying to make money. I make money. I could buy records and stuff. I could buy, a lot of things. I bought comic books. I bought records, and candy and stuff like that.
What was your favorite comic book? And then I'm going to rapid fire with what was your favorite candy from back then?
Now and Later was my favorite candy. My favorite comic book, anything Marvel
comics.
But when I was younger, anything Marvel. But later on, it got real heavy. There was a series, Adam Warlock, and that was the heaviest thing, man. Oh, it was so heavy. It was really good.
Talk about how that made you feel there.
Adam Warlock? Oh,
yes.
Oh. Okay, sum it up. He comes out of a cocoon, right?
Yeah. He
sees injustice all around him. People. He sees slavery and people being, there's a tyrant in charge of the universe, right? And he's called the Magus, right? And he has these great powers, and he decides he's going to fight against the Magus and injustice and tyranny, right? Now, he meets Thanos, right? Who and Thanos and Thanos helps him, right? Now, at that time, Thanos considered himself the god of death, right? Because he met the Lady Death, and he decided to kill off the entire universe as the only fitting gift for the love of his life, the Lady Death, right? So, okay, now he does all this stuff. The Magus specifically tells everybody not to kill him for some reason, and then you find out that the Magus is Adam Warlock 500 years in the future.
Oh wow.
So
that's
he can't kill himself,
Right.
He can't kill himself and stuff. But he beats Warlock's butt, and he beats Thanos' butt while he's at it and stuff. Well, it's heavy, man, right? Because like when he kicks Thanos' butt, he says he's the god of life because life is mad, right? he's mad because life is mad, right? And he's talking all this stuff while he's kicking Thanos' butt, like treating him like a stepchild. Out, pop, pop, pop. And so it was the god of life against the god of death, and it was heavy.
And I'm still digesting it.
I'm nerding out, but it was heavy, man. It was heavy.
But I love this because you're nerding out in this moment about Marvel Comics.
Yeah, they touched upon it in the Avengers movies and stuff, but they just touched. They didn't have Adam Warlock there or anything. It's just
they left out a whole lot. But
they left out a lot.
But this clearly influenced you early in life, right? But there's still a attachment, it sounds like, to these narratives that are alternate narratives to the sort of daily reality that we all live in.
Well, I had a lot of realities, man. It's like, okay, there were a lot of Black Panthers in my family.
Okay, tell us about
that. Including Bobby Rush, who eventually became leader of the Black Panthers at Chicago chapter, right? Okay. Then my father was a policeman, and he was basically the peacekeeper for the neighborhood. Nobody would mess with me and my brother because, we had Black Panthers and police and stuff in the family. They say, hey, don't mess with them, right? So,
love that. That's the dichotomy household, right, that you lived in. Even.
On top of that, I was into rock and roll.
Okay, well,
and, so
WLS radio. Did you listen to WLS or another station?
The Loop.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Loop.
Kick-ass rock and roll.
98.7, but before the Loop was WLS.
Before the Loop. I mainly bought records, man. First album I bought was Led Zeppelin 2. I eventually went back and got Led Zeppelin 1, but I was a big Led Zeppelin fan. I saw them at Chicago Stadium in 1977, 2 nights in a row.
Wow.
And getting the tickets, everybody, you listen to this? I said, yeah, it was no big deal. But the second show, Jimmy Page, he threw up on stage, and they had to cut the show short, right? So they gave us these rain checks, right? They said, next time Led Zeppelin comes into town, you give us a rain check and you get a free ticket and stuff. So I held on to that rain check. Of course, they didn't come back to Chicago until they were scheduled to come to Chicago in 1980, and John Bonham, the drummer, died. Group broke up. But I still had that rain check, which was stolen from me later. That's another story.
Uh-oh. Okay. We'll circle back.
You asked for it, you got it.
I'm with you. And I want to know if you are able to share your elementary school and your high schools. Where did you attend?
I attend Rudyard Kipling Elementary School.
Rudyard Kipling. Did you read The Jungle Book and any of his books?
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
That was probably mandatory reading at Rudyard Kipling.
Yeah. But I went to Rudyard Kipling. Wasn't an outstanding student. I had a high IQ, and that was the only reason I got through grammar school without failing, because the teachers felt like if if I was failed, it was their fault, because
Because naturally you were an intelligent person,
but some of the teachers wasn't playing that crap. It seemed like every odd year I was close to failing. I got bad grades because I wouldn't do homework at all.
Okay,
when I was out of school, I was out. I didn't want any parts of any homework. I was playing with my friends, and that was that. Right now, the even years, I had teachers that didn't require homework.
Okay.
For some reason, right?
Yeah.
And they just give the test, and I aced the test, right? Got excellent grades. But the odd years, you got to do homework. That's torture for a kid. He comes home and he has to do some more schoolwork. But I listen to you in class. I know what's up. But like the years that I had to do homework, I got bad grades. 7th grade, I almost failed. Right? That was Miss Bryant. And
what was it about 7th grade? Because that's a critical year. Like that's the year you're supposed to prepare for high school, essentially.
One thing, I was distracted. Miss Bryant had the most gigantic boobs I'd ever seen.
She was a voluptuous teacher, huh?
Yeah, she was. And another thing, I just would not do homework, and she wasn't playing that. She was about to fail me, but coincidentally, at the end of the year, they had this thing called the Math Down.
Okay.
Which was a math contest and stuff, and all the smartest students get in the Math Down. I got in the Math Down and I won it. So they couldn't fail the math champion. You know what I mean? So that got me out of 7th grade.
That saved your 7th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
8th grade, Miss Myers, she didn't base grades on homework. I was good. Got great grades again. Graduated.
Okay, so you graduated from grade school.
I survived 7th.
So you survived. 7th grade was a survival mission. But when you graduated from 8th grade, were you at least excited about high school and the social? Did you do any sports or band or?
No, I didn't do anything, and I didn't do anything in high school.
Nothing.
No, I got robbed a few times.
Well,
I went to Lindblom at first, and there was this guy Leroy Fennell. He had cousins in the neighborhood. We didn't know that, right? But he would take all the nerds out and get us robbed. He said, "Let's walk around the school," on lunch breaks, and they would rob us.
It was a setup. Wow.
It was a setup.
From your own classmate.
Yes. That was Leroy Fennell. But yeah.
You ever run into Leroy ever?
I ran into Leroy. I ran into Leroy years later. And just say hi to him.
I bet you he regretted it a little bit now.
No, hell no.
Okay. So you said you started at Lindblom Tech.
I started at Lindblom. I graduated from Central Y High School.
Tell me a little bit about Central Y High School. Was that in Chicago?
I went to Central Y for summer school.
Okay.
Because I failed some classes at Lindblom and I had to catch up. I like Central Y a lot, and after doing the summer there, I said, "Hey, well, I like this school better than Lindblom. I'm going to go here," and I wound up graduating from Central Y.
I'm just not familiar with Central Y, but
Central YMCA high school.
Okay, I didn't know they had high schools with the Y. What part of town was that located? Do you remember?
It was downtown Chicago. See, that was another thing. I really loved downtown Chicago at that time in the 70s.
Yes,
much better than that. Much better than Inglewood. Where Lindblom was located.
Yes.
So
the heart of Inglewood.
Yeah, the heart of Inglewood. So I liked downtown. I could go to the movies. I could go, it had a lot of restaurants. And by that time, I was a busboy and a dishwasher.
So
I graduated from paperboy to busboy and dishwasher. So I went
while you were still in school.
While I was still in school, I went through this agency called Armanakis Employment Agency, and they would send me out to their restaurants who had like somebody missing or something, and I would work there, and I'd replace the busboy or the dishwasher for a day.
Staff augmentation, I guess some would call it. Right?
Yes.
How did you like that?
It was all right. And, it was making money. It was a job. I needed money, especially since I got in Central Y. They would let you smoke cigarettes in class. So I was getting high back then.
So this was definitely the 70s.
Yes, it was definitely the 70s. and I was. I had to have my weed money and my alcohol money,
but you were underage. I mean, smoking and drinking while
yes.
Okay. like I'm amazed by that. Clearly, you were certainly in Chicago mode, because Chicagoans, we are hardy
substance abusers.
Well, I use the term hardy because there's nothing much that can really affect us.
Well, I guess I learned my lesson because I stopped drinking in '86.
Okay.
And I stopped everything in '86 because when Move Your Body came out, everywhere I went, I got free everything. We would run around performing, and backstage they had everything. You want this? You want to blow? You want this? I said, well, if I keep doing this, I won't be alive long. So I stopped everything, even smoking cigarettes. And
good for you.
I'm alive. So
good for you. Yes, thankfully you are here. And, we're speaking to Marshall Jefferson here on the Vintage House Show. We're not taking the normal path of asking him about, music and that. We wanted to learn who Marshall Jefferson is. And sure enough, there's so much to unpack about how you've come to this point in your journey. And you alluded to certainly Move Your Body, the House Music Anthem, globally known as, one of the premier songs and records defining a genre, essentially. What you did in between graduating from Central Y High School and releasing this anthem was also very interesting. And I've heard the story, but I want to ask if you would mind sharing it with our audience tonight about how you worked. Besides being a busboy and dishwasher, there was a more permanent job, if you will, that you had.
Well, before that, I went to Western Illinois University, and I boxed a little bit. I boxed in the Chicago Golden Gloves.
I did not know this.
Me and my brother boxed in the Golden Gloves.
What's your brother's name? Scott
Jefferson. Scott was runner-up. I I got knocked out in the first round. No, not I got knocked out in the third round. But I couldn't dedicate myself to training like my brother. My brother was chopping trees and everything. But I had a knockout punch. But once I found out I had a knockout punch, I didn't really work out that hard anymore. So that was my downfall. Let me see.
Western Illinois University.
Western. I majored in accounting, right? And my third year, I applied for a job at the post office, right? I started out making $19,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now, starting salary for an accountant was $10,000 to $12,000, right? So I looked at some way. $12,000, $19,000, $12,000. Okay, bye accountant, bye college. I'm gonna work at the post office, and I'll go back to college later, which never happened. I didn't go back to college, and that was that.
But it all makes sense that you would have selected accounting as your major. You were the math down champion. Analytical and mathematical mind, applying, that innate skill to crunching numbers, it made sense, but the economics of the salary didn't. And
I was also a bowling champion in high school.
A bowler and a boxer.
Yes.
A boxer, rather.
Yeah, every Saturday, Pilgrim Baptist Church had a league, and my team came in first twice.
And you were one of the star bowlers on the team?
No, this guy named Keith was the star bowler. I was just on the team.
Okay.
I was okay, but I was clutch.
Do you still bowl? I know bowling alleys aren't as common these days. But do you still bowl when you get a chance?
No, I haven't bowled in decades.
I mean, what do you do when you're not in the studio for fun?
This and that. Various things. I listen to a lot of music and various things. Gotcha.
Well, I'm gonna put this out there. Next time you're in Chicago and have some free time, we should go bowling.
Oh, okay.
We should go bowling. And
I wonder how I would do,
Right. You don't know until you get back in the alley. I was a mediocre bowler when I bowled as well. So we probably, have a pretty competitive.
I think my average was like about 105, 106. May have gotten as high as 120, but I'm not sure about that. But
oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I was mediocre.
Stay tuned. Okay. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see if Marshall can get back.
Are there any bowling alleys left in Chicago?
There are a few.
Is King Bowl still on
King Drive?
King Drive? Yeah.
I don't think it's open any longer, no.
I remember Palisade Bowl and King Bowl.
And Starlight was where I grew up bowling.
Oh, Starlight Bowl. Okay, yeah, I remember Starlight. Starlight weren't they on 95th Street?
It was 80 off of 87th and Cottage Grove.
87? Oh, that's right. Right.
And it burned down a couple of times. But
Starlight. I remember Starlight.
Yeah, Starlight. Yeah. So it was in this Chatham Greater Grand Crossing area, and like boxing. Have you ever shared that with others that you were a boxer?
No, I don't think so.
Got an exclusive here on the.
I wonder if you could look up the Golden Gloves records and find me there.
Well, you said you got knocked out. Was that on
Yeah, third round.
I'm gonna put our researchers into action to see if they can come up with your standing in the
What was the
Golden
guy's name who I fought? Oh.
There are records of Chicago's Golden Glove tournament, so we're gonna see what we can find out there.
Yeah.
But you went then to the post office, opted out of accounting. You were you a letter carrier, a sorter,
sorter? We were on these machines, letter sorting machine. What was they called? I don't even remember the names of the machines, but we were on these big machines, and they would sort the letters. And I worked on one machine with Curtis McLean, who wound up singing the lead on "Move Your Body."
Yes,
and me and Kurt worked at the post office.
Curtis is a friend of Vintage House Show, and he's been on to talk about the story a bit. But the Marshall Jefferson perspective is important because I think you were the catalyst, right, for bringing the On House crew together. Is that?
Yeah, On the House. We were on the House. Yes. When Jesse Saunders came out with On and On, that's what set us off.
So about 1984, 85?
1984.
Yes.
And that's when when we put everything into motion. I bought some equipment, but the first song I gave to Ron Hardy, I gave two songs to him. That was one was "I've Lost Control" by Sleazy D.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was eventually became "Under You" by Virgo.
Virgo track.
Virgo.
Yes.
Well, no, it wasn't Virgo track. I had a Virgo EP.
Okay.
Under You was originally titled "The Pleasure Exchange."
How did the name change?
I misprinted the label titles and stuff. I gave Larry Sherman the wrong titles, so everything changed its name.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So Sleazy D was you?
Sleazy D was Sleazy D. Rest in peace. Sleazy D was my friend.
Okay.
And I was working on the song. Sleazy came in and started dancing. I said, "Just say I've lost control," and I screamed, I was like, I've lost control. Sleazy said, "I've lost control. I've lost control," and I said, and that was the first song I gave to Ron Hardy. Now, mind you, Ron Hardy, it was a smash at the music
box. Yeah,
they would go off, and as soon as it come on, they would stampede to the dance floor, and go, right. So, yeah,
the experience at the music box was a frenetic experience. I mean, you'd sweat it, right? It might as well have been called the sweat box, but the alignment, right, of that track. Little did you know when you all were creating it, right, that it would be a perfect fit for the music box.
No, I knew it.
You had that.
I knew it.
Yeah, I love that.
I knew it.
And so, what format did you get it to Ron?
I gave Ron
vinyl, reel to reel.
I gave him a reel to reel.
Okay.
It was The Pleasure Exchange and I've Lost Control on one reel to reel.
But this is after you had already gotten it to Larry Sherman.
No, this was
No,
2 years. This was 2 years before Larry got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is great. This is great because some of the timelines get altered and inverted, and it's okay, except we want to get the story as close to accurate
Okay.
possible so that people who research and come to understand how some of the evolution of house took place, right, they can have that accuracy and reflect it in a way that history stands as accurate, and you're getting, well, our audience is getting the first person narrative from the man himself who released these tracks. So we skipped a whole portion. You introduced the fact that you came to music and house music or music in general by way of hearing On and On by Jesse Saunders.
Well, I was DJing 3 years before
that's the
that.
part. Yes,
that's how I picked up the On and On in the record store. I bought it at Luke Records. It said Jesse Saunders, hot. Now I knew Jesse Saunders as a DJ, of course.
Okay.
Right? I said, "Wow, Jesse made a record, right?" And I came and I said, "Oh, I could do better than this," and so coincidentally, I went into the music store and dude said, "Hey, I have this thing, the sequencer. It's a Yamaha QX1." Now, Vince Lawrence had already told me about the Yamaha QX1. And
you guys were friends as well, you and Vince, and you Jesse.
I saw the address to Trax. Well, not Trax Records, but I think
the studio.
It was on one of Jesse's records, right? I think it was Precision Records. I went down to Precision Records. I was welcomed by Vince Lawrence, who acted like he was running things down there, right? So Vince was telling me all about this stuff. I said, "Oh, okay." So I went to the music store. I got the QX1. I bought a whole bunch of gear. The salesman told, "Hey, with this QX1, you can play like Stevie Wonder, even if you don't know how to play it all." And I didn't know how to play it all, so that was right up my alley, right? So I mean, I believed them. They gave me a credit line, me and Curtis credit line, and we got all the equipment, and we started making music.
Amazing. So no formal training, which that's been par for the course of a lot of the house music pioneers. You DJ'd, so you did have a baseline understanding of a 4 on the floor beat and beats per minute and chords and rhythms and melodies. No church time for you, Marshall?
I went to Pilgrim Baptist Church.
Pilgrim Baptist.
I went to Pilgrim Baptist Church.
Right on Wentworth there, I think, across from...
I think it was on Indiana.
It's not Indiana. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's on Indiana, like 35th.
Oh, yeah, it's 35th in Indiana.
Yeah, 31st in Indiana. Yep.
Yeah.
Pilgrim Baptist Church I went to. And I was in the choir in Pilgrim Baptist Church.
You sang?
Yeah, I sang. But, I mean, I was in the choir. I was background. I didn't do any lead vocals.
What? You put that disclaimer out there fast. Yeah. So what time frame was this for you? Were you a young adult at this point, or was it in your early days?
It was beginning of high school. Like I said,
okay.
I was in Pilgrim Baptist Church's bowling league.
That's right. I didn't make the. I heard bowling. I didn't hear the church.
I went to Pilgrim Baptist Church. It was, they had a bowling league, and I was in the bowling league, and my team came out in first place twice. out of the 3 years that I bowled.
All right. And so we got the choir in now. You spent church. You spent time in church, and that is a key connector for many in the music business, especially on the creative side.
Thomas A. Dorsey was the head of the choir.
He's recognized as the founder of gospel music.
Yeah, Thomas A. Dorsey.
You sang under Thomas Dorsey. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to not, just put yourself in the background. You were in the choir led by Thomas Dorsey.
Yeah, but,
that's powerful.
Backgrounds.
Did you?
I wasn't doing no real.
Were you baritone, tenor, in one of those sections?
Nah, I wasn't baritone.
Oh, okay. I know I'm pushing.
I was just in the choir.
I'm pushing the boundaries. Oh man! But how did you come to DJ? Let's talk about that.
I was working at the post office. I was rich. I bought my decks, man. I bought Thorns, and then I bought Techniques, and I was off. I was DJing before you had direct drive. You had the belt driven, so
you
had
on the belt drive table.
Yeah.
And that was probably anyone who spun on belt drive. All power to you all, because it's difficult. I tried before I was able to get a pair of 1200 MK2s, and that direct drive versus the belt drive is you're like rolling a rock up a hill to battle.
I was spending about $175 a week on records.
Wow, your budget was $175 back then. This is like late 70s, early 80s, huh?
I was making bank.
That 19,000 grew to
it got up to 23. Got up to 23. You had regular raises and stuff. Man, the post office, that time it was a lifetime job, man. People, it was a good job.
Yeah, mad respect to many. I've had people in my family that were lifelong part of the postal system. You talk about it being a lifelong job, but then something happened. Lightning struck.
Yes. I started putting out records. Now I wasn't really making that I wasn't really making any money. In fact, I lost money paying for the pressing, and Larry Sherman not paying me for the records he sold.
So you sort of had one toe in the water and one toe still in the post office.
A very small toe in the post office. I was when I got in the music business. I was in the music business.
You went all in.
I went all in.
And so you made a living from the records and still DJing and touring.
I didn't make any money off of records until 1987. Well, no, I didn't make any money off records, period. But I made money off touring, doing Move Your Body.
What was the first tour stop or show that you booked from that song?
I believe our first show was in Elizabeth, New Jersey. What was the name of Butchie's club? I forgot the name of his club. We did a show. We had a show scheduled at the Paradise Garage, but we canceled that. What happened was, Larry Sherman had booked an entire East Coast tour. and we got with Phil Balsano and Frank Rodrigo, who were also managers Steve Hurley, Jamie Principal, and Frankie Knuckles, and they basically told everybody on the tour, if you don't send the money to us, Marshall is not performing. Now, the Paradise Garage show was significant because all of the record pools were going to be there, all of them. And it was a yearly event where the record pools made themselves a little bit of money, and they were extremely pissed off that we missed that show. They were calling us at home. Phone was ringing off the hook. I said, "Oh man, I'm getting out of here." I went over to Curtis McLean's house, and they called us over Kurt's house. And man, but anyway, we canceled the show because they told us cancel. Once we canceled the Paradise Garage show, everybody fell in line and sent Phil and Frank the money, which we never received. They kept it all,
Wow.
Yeah. Rudy Forbes, who was one of the guys in On the House, he kept asking for money because he was married, right? His wife said, "Where's your money? Where's your money?" Right? So Frank pulled me aside. He said, "Rudy's not being professional. He keeps asking for money." I said, "Well, he's married. Give him his money. While you're at it, give me my money too, right?" They said, "You'll never get a major label deal like this. You're not being professional." I said, "Well, F you. I'm getting out of here. You better give me my money," and stuff. And he wouldn't give me my money. They kept the money, man. They had these bank accounts. They had the Marshall Jefferson bank account. They had the On the House bank account, but we couldn't access it, right?
These are the terrible stories of exploitation that continue to surface as people.
So I couldn't get out of my money. I couldn't get at my money. I was out of there, right?
But did they cover the travel? Did you have lodging?
Yeah, we had travel.
Food?
They covered the travel and stuff. They kept all the gig money, man, all the performance money.
That hurts. Yeah.
It was 35. It was 35,000, man. But like, it was about 35,000. I estimated they kept, which was not that much. They got a couple of people I know for a few million.
Ouch. Yeah.
Because you remember they were doing a lot of remixes for major labels, and that's when major labels were paying like 20 to 50 grand per remix.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with losing my little 35,000 and stuff. At least they didn't get me for millions.
So you had this sort of first major experience touring. You learned through the School of Hard Knocks, it sounds like, about, really how to maybe structure even the deals with the booking agents, we'll call them for now. I know they were, label guys and other people. So you took those lessons and you said yes to future shows. How did you begin to get into the rhythm where, now you got
now I'm getting paid? Well, we just went through the booking agents that they were using. They were using Norby Walters and this other smaller agency, and we just went through them. And we did like at least 300 shows on the East Coast. We were playing all over there.
So I got to ask the question, which often is asked and discussed here on the Vintage House Show, but you went to the East Coast and sure, eventually over the pond to Europe. What happened to the Chicago performances?
They weren't paying any money. They didn't have enough. They couldn't afford us, man. what happened on the East Coast? You had the greatest club scene in the history of the planet, because all of those clubs, man, the mafia was laundering money through. So they had first class lighting. They had separate sound for DJs and live performances, and every place was total class. Those New York clubs were top notch, man, because like I said, the mafia was laundering money through them. One year, I believe it was 88 or 89, all the clubs closed down at the same time because the IRS busted the mafia. All of those clubs. Now, each one of these clubs had their own DJ. DJ was getting $3,000 a night, right?
Yeah, the residents,
The residents, they would play the entire night, and it was their club.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was first class. We went to each performance in a limousine, you know, and all because the mob was laundering money through all these clubs, right? You felt like an artist, you know. We went everywhere in a limo. I haven't seen I've seen like one or two limos since 1989, right? But it was every gig was picking us up in a limo. But since the IRS busted the mafia and got them out of the clubs, I haven't seen a limo since, you know. So that's a little known fact. They closed down the Paradise Garage. They closed down all these clubs, man. And the only club left standing after that gigantic crackdown was the Sound Factory with Junior Vasquez.
Sound Factory, yeah.
And they were cheap, man. I heard like there are DJs that get 20,000 a night. They were playing at the Sound Factory for $50.
Man.
You know, yeah.
Highway robbery.
Well, that's because they weren't financed by the mob. That's why they stayed open. You know, they weren't. You know, they didn't have that money laundering going on. That's why they were left standing.
Well, we're gonna put allegedly on all that, and we're going to.
Yeah, that's allegedly. But you know, the DJ fees significantly went down. Significantly,
okay. That makes sense.
Down after all those clubs closed.
Totally makes sense. So let's talk about the fact that then the East Coast club scene sort of went dark.
Yeah.
How did you get over to Europe and playing in those markets? Because there's still Chicago back here. And you said they couldn't afford
they weren't paying. They had substandard facilities. We didn't really have a significant mafia presence or gang or the rich people presence in the clubs in Chicago. They were pretty much you had DJs and they were underpaid and stuff. That they couldn't really afford to pay the DJs like that in Chicago.
But Europe could.
Okay, let me tell you how fees got high.
Okay.
For going to Europe, right? In the beginning, all of us were afraid of flying. All of us.
Okay.
So move your body was hot as fish grease back in the day. We'll give you $1,000 to fly over to England to perform and stuff. And I said, I ain't flying all the way there. It was tough enough flying to New York every weekend. I'm not flying 8 to 10 hours, right? I said, then they come back. Well, we'll give you $2,000. Give you 5,000. We'll give you 10,000. Where's my ticket?
The magic threshold,
man. But that's how everybody started getting paid a lot of money to come to go to Europe. And coincidentally, Junior Vasquez was also afraid of flying. He took it to another tier because 10 years after that, he was playing at Wembley for $1 million. He got paid $1 million. And that took the bar up. He got paid for a million in Wembley Stadium, and the only person in that stadium when he performed was Madonna. It was completely empty.
Wow.
Yep. But everybody heard about him getting $1 million. Then you had the DJ top 100 DJs, and next thing you know, the number one DJ started getting paid like
whose list was that? Was that Mix Mag or
no? That was DJ Magazine had the
DJ Mag
had the top 100 DJs. Top DJ started, the number one DJ started getting 100,000 to $250,000 a night.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So how many of those were black or brown?
Carl Cox.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. They have a few now. Jamie Jones gets a lot.
Black Coffee.
Black Coffee gets a lot. There are a few. But not a lot of us.
Well, so it is the music business, and business can be challenging. It can be unfair. It can be structured and unstructured. Talk about how you view the music business today.
The music business today is overcrowded. When I first started, there were maybe 500 dance songs a week coming out, so you would have hits, right? About 12 years ago, Beatport told me they were releasing 100,000 songs a week. And that was, that was 12 years ago. Now it's probably everybody can make music. Everybody that buys a computer can make a song. Now you have AI going in. It's easy, a million dance songs a week. So you got no more hits. No more hits unless it plays on radio.
There's no shelf life.
There's no shelf life.
No sustainability of a song.
All these DJs out here don't, for some reason, they don't like playing the same record twice. So that's another obstacle. It's tough out there. Anybody that makes it out of that gigantic pile, like 1 million records this week, 4 million records, they have to compete with 4 million records released last month. You have to do things, and then everybody's laughing at the guys, in the weird clothes and looking weird and doing stupid stuff, but they made it out of the pack, man. So
they've differentiated themselves through gimmicks and fashion and things that make them stand out.
Yeah, and their goal is to play in front of big crowds and make a lot of money, and that's what they're doing. And so they're goofy, but they're rich. And of course we have cool DJs that are broke as hell. So take your pick.
What does Marshall Jefferson do to survive?
Well, coincidentally, the overcrowding benefits me. Because you have a DJ that's just starting out, he has to compete with 1 million people. I'm already house famous. You know, if they want to fill their club, they book Marshall Jefferson, right? Not the DJ making new music who they've never heard of because he's competing with 1 million releases a week. They know me, you know, all of us. You talk about David Morales and Todd Terry, or Steve Hurley, or Joe Smooth. You know, we're all still working, man, because those are the names that fill the club, because those are the names people recognize.
Yes.
Understand what I'm saying? You have a new guy coming up and 1 million records and 1 million records a week coming out. Nobody knows him. He's going to have an empty club. But Marshall Jefferson is the name they know. It's keeping me working. You see what I'm saying?
I follow the logic.
I mean, I'm telling you, we're still, man. 2 weeks ago, I played for 20,000 at O2 Arena. You know, 2 weeks before that, Warehouse Project, 10,000 people, packed, sold out. You know, so they recognize the names, man.
How do you protect your brand, Marshall?
No, I don't do anything. I don't.
Okay.
It's names that people recognize.
It is
from back in the day. We didn't have that big crowd of that big, huge pack of releases coming out to compete with. I only competed with like a few people, you know. So and I got my name out decades ago. No, you know what I mean.
I fully understand. This is the Vintage House Show, so we definitely understand.
If the Vintage House Show, now, if you had a DJ, State of Grace, right? DJ State of Grace, come out with a hot record, but that nobody's heard, but it's a great record.
Yes.
You put him on here, you got no viewers because nobody knows him. Because 1 million other songs came out there. All the DJs that do play them are not going to play them twice. So how is he going to get a hit? How is he going to get name recognition out of 1 million releases a week? You see, it's an uphill battle. So you got no more stars coming out. Who are you going to book at your club?
Yeah. So this point is critical because it also speaks to how will the genre sustain, right? If you know, we're anchoring at least club bookings and even interviews on legacy impact, how do we sustain this?
House music is the fastest growing music there is, I heard.
Across the globe, yes. That's a fact.
But, you know, how are you going to be a star? People are going to continue to dance. The dance floor is going nowhere. Now, how to profit from it, how to make money doing it, that's the question. You know, that's the difficult part.
It's always been the most difficult part, frankly speaking. And I actually have been working over the course of, you know, my time with the genre to try to help create that infrastructure, that business infrastructure that enables people to make money from it. And
well, you gotta have hits, man, and
no
there
doubt.
are there are no hits coming from the dance floor. It's just too crowded, and nobody supports records. Nobody supports records anymore. There hasn't been a hit in well over a decade. Not a dance hit,
right?
Except unless it played on the radio like Daft Punk, you know. But if it doesn't play on the radio, you're not gonna have a hit. It's plain and simple.
So I want to pivot to, well, it's really staying with the same theme here, but social media has also enabled, you can't necessarily make millions, but certainly TikTok, when we talk about fastest growing genre, house music being that genre enabled through TikTok.
Well,
it's played a huge
I'm not going to complain about TikTok or Instagram. I've had over 100 million views this year.
Yes, I'm not suggesting you complain, but I want people watching to understand this is one of the pivot points. This is a tipping point, rather, of how you earn as opposed to how you've earned historically, right?
Yeah, yes.
I mean,
Well, I get a lot more than I got back in the day.
okay.
Um,
Do you actually go in, or your representatives go in to TikTok and negotiate the spin rate,
I
the
think
stream rate? Sorry.
it has something to do with neighboring rights and publishing. Neighboring rights uh, uh, is digital rights, and then there's publishing rights, which is songwriting rights.
Yes.
You get paid. You get paid for that, and I, I get a little bit from that.
Well, so BMI, ASCAP, CSAC,
BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, all that, they're paying.
They're still very relevant in terms of helping artists get paid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even with, back in the day, right? It used to be maybe the mechanical rights. So how many?
Well, it's the same. It's the same.
Sets.
It's the same thing. I think neighboring and digital rights are separate from ASCAP. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so.
Yeah.
ASCAP is still mechanicals and stuff like that.
Yeah, and rights associated with film. Film used to be sort of the aspiration, right? If you got your song on a movie soundtrack, you were sure to line your pockets a little bit more, but that's not even as big anymore.
Well, it can be. If some, like for instance, somebody sampled your thing, like John Legend and Kanye sampled me like 13 years ago.
Yes.
And they paid a big upfront fee, and then name of the song that they sampled Video Clash, and the name of the song was Made to Love. John Legend named his album Made to Love. He did the Made to Love tour. Then the song got licensed for a Chevy commercial that played on the NBA Finals, and so that was quite lucrative. And it all, sometimes it all jumps off.
And so, yeah, I mean, but that's to your point earlier, that's sort of the nature of a hit, right? Where it gets interwoven into, popular culture.
Yeah. The thing is, though, John Legend got played on the radio heavy.
He had radio behind him.
Yeah.
Right. But is radio
straight up dance floor hits you won't find.
Okay. Is radio still important?
Yeah, it's very important. I don't know who listens to the radio anymore, though. I think everybody listens to Spotify now or something, but radio's gone down, but it's still very powerful. Like I said,
yes,
you're not gonna have a hit unless it plays on the radio. Not a dance hit. Well, any kind of hit. It's got to play on the radio.
So we've covered a little bit of technology and the business, but there's a big piece, you alluded to this or just a little while ago as well, and then we'll move towards closing our discussion. It's been a fascinating discussion, but I want to get your opinion about artificial intelligence and platforms like Suno. And you've already indicated, hey, the potential for a new hit to emerge in the sea of 1 million releases for the dance floor a week, or somewhere in that neighborhood. It's all sort of diluted, right? And the dilution is coming even faster and more furiously with the advent of AI. Thoughts?
Yeah, they got some guy that was doing like 10,000. He put like 10,000 songs on Spotify, and all of them were AI songs.
And he was trying to get monetized, really quickly, but I think it worked up to a point, right? I remember that story vaguely.
Well, he got busted, and Spotify's trying not to pay him now. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I suppose they think if everybody releases like 10,000 songs, they got to come out of a lot of money,
Yeah, that would break the bank.
Yeah, so the buck stops here. They have to stop that.
But is AI unstoppable, would you say?
Yeah, it's unstoppable.
Yeah. Kind of feel that the guardrails are not there yet.
Yeah, well, technology doesn't go backwards. It's we're not going to be in covered wagons and stuff. It's going to progress, and I see a whole future for AI beyond the dance floor, beyond music. Man,
of course,
because I don't want to get into this, but yeah, it's going to replace humanity. AI, I see a day. Well, they already have Elon Musk and them. They've already, and several other companies have come with a computer link up to your brain.
Yes,
and that where they can simulate touch, smell, taste, everything. Right. I see a total recall situation coming where you could, you could be anybody you want. You could do anything you want to do. You could be a secret agent, something like that. It's inevitable. It's going to be within the next 20 years. They'll be able to do that, if not sooner. Because the rate AI is going, more like 10 years. We should be there.
This is the prediction.
You'll be able to purchase life after death. They'll be able to keep your brain alive and keep you on your own personal heaven.
Who wants that? Who would want that? I don't know.
Rich people.
Yeah, sure. There were some indications of that on some hot mics at the G20 or something. Some of the foreign dictators were talking about, hey, I can swap out body parts and live a longer life. And
body parts is primitive. That won't fit in. That's too much trouble. You have to have operations and stuff like that. No, I'm talking about population control. I'm population control where you'll be able to have an AI girlfriend or wife, totally agreeable to everything you want, or AI husband, and that stops the reproduction right there.
It does, dead in the tracks.
Because men and women are too much trouble in relationships. Why not have somebody that does whatever you want them to do whenever you want it? There's no competition.
The Das.
So they think the planet is overpopulated, AI is going to wipe it out like that without firing a single shot. Boom.
Huh.
You know, people are going to stop reproducing and they're going to go for the AI partners.
We are having an incredible conversation with Marshall Jefferson, creator of the House Music Anthem, who also worked with Curtis McLean to make that hit. And he's spending time with us here on the Vintage House Show, but we want to ensure that you also have a chance to share what's next for Marshall Jefferson. I forgot. I was gone.
What's next for me?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to say. I don't want. Well,
no, we're good for a couple of exclusives.
Okay, Okay, what I'm going to do next year,
2026 with Marshall.
I'm going to sell my catalog.
Did you just see the deal that The Weeknd did? Are you familiar with that deal?
How much did he get?
I'll send you the article. It was a creative deal. It wasn't a straight catalog sale. He essentially sold the catalog with the ability to retain creative control. And he's an investor in the new ownership structure.
He's rich enough to do that.
You two could do it. It's just about having just enough leverage.
I don't want creative control. I just want a large lump sum because
you can have both.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, if I can, I will.
See, this is what I said. My role in trying to help this community and genre is to ensure that the same deals. Now, of course, the goal posts always move, right? When we're trying out the same, tactics and steps. But we'll talk about that. One more. So you did put it out there. So anyone tuned in, Marshall Jefferson may be repping his catalog, but he's not going to take the straight deal. He's going to strike a creative deal with any takers. Those are my words, not his. We talked about the younger generations and the potential, right, for the sustainability of the genre. Because it is the world's fastest growing genre, do you feel, though, that it's also vulnerable to maybe morphing into something else? I mean, we've got hundreds of subgenres already, but Chicago house is the parent. But do you see that slipping away at all? And how do we keep it from happening?
Well, the secret is to make quality music. A great song is a great song. No matter what genre it is. I mean, every genre is started with a great song. And if it's good enough, it'll start another genre. That they like to separate stuff now. Something's completely different. If it's quality, people will listen to it. So as long as we keep the quality up, we ain't going anywhere. We'll be here. We'll be here to stay.
That's a powerful and positive point of view, Marshall. I want to thank you in earnest for.
Thank you for having me, man. I know I said some things that are pretty whack, but hey.
Look, I ask you to tell us and show us who Marshall Jefferson is. You are your authentic self with us tonight, and I couldn't be more honored to have the authentic Marshall Jefferson, right? There's no publicist behind you whispering in your ear, no manager. It's just straight Marshall. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kev.
So when you're in Chicago, remember we're going to hang out for bowling. I'm not boxing with you at this point.
I'm not boxing anybody, man. I'll throw out my shoulder trying to punch somebody.
I got to spend some time with you during the 40th anniversary of that first house record, and we did NASCAR. That was a good summer, 2024. I enjoyed that, and it was monumental.
Well, hopefully we have a Move Your Body anniversary next year.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
We're here to help. We're here to advance the culture. We're here to reinforce the nostalgia of all that took place in the mind, body, spirit of Chicagoans giving birth to this genre. So thank you again for spending the time. We are 10 years here at the Vintage House Show.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. You are making our 10th anniversary. This is a great tipping point. So definitely appreciate the time that you spent and the insights that you shared. Don't forget to check out Marshall Jefferson whenever he's back on tour. We're here every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central Time on the Vintage House Show. You can catch us on podcasts everywhere. And I know that you, Marshall, you're active on social. So make sure you check out Marshall Jefferson on his socials, on Beatport, on TrackSource, and wherever else you can find them. Are you on Mixcloud and SoundCloud?
I don't know. I think I did a couple of remixes on SoundCloud. I'm not sure about Mixcloud.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something else for 2026 for you.
I have a bunch of mixes out.
Where can we check them out?
I did one for BBC. I did different radio stations. I did them for.
We'll post them on our Facebook and Instagram so that everyone tuned in can check them out. Yes.
I'm so sorry, man. I don't really keep track of my things like that. I really should. Career-wise, I should keep better track of these things so I could advertise properly promote them.
Well, we'll also talk about who your current publicist is, and maybe we can put you on the roster for our agency and help you out with that. But until then, I want to wish you happy holidays, a happy New Year.
Same to you, brother.
Again, looking forward to seeing you. I'm going to polish up the bowling ball so we can get ready and get out there on the alley.
Last time I went bowling was with Byron Stingley.
B. Sting.
Yes, Byron Stingley.
Well, we'll invite Byron as well.
Got to get Byron to come with us.
This will be an all-star bowling outing. All right. Thank you, Marshall. I don't want to keep you up much later. I'm again honored, and for everyone tuned in or listening via our podcast, thank you for 10 great years of supporting the Vintage House Show. Remember, house is a feeling. Thank you all. Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you, Kevin.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Speak soon.